make it all come true. 'Cause girl, you were made for me, and girl, I was made for you. Oh, I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. When I can't get enough for you, baby, can you get enough for me? Yeah. Whoa, 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 I can't get enough. Whoa, whoa, I can't get enough. I was made for loving you. I was made for loving you.
Well, some points down, tell me something going around. Let's discuss the light of day. Spitting truth, come with me. With some points down, nothing's ever out of bounds. There has to be a better way. Always something of a better play. Hero Shack Day, Hero Shack Day, Hero Shack, baby things. Hero Shack, hey, Hero Shack, yeah. Hero Shack, daily things.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hero Shack Daily Things, episode number 45. Joining me from her office is Miss Diana. When she gets here, I think she's actually roaming the house right now, likely forced into servitude to the puppies. But I'm sure she won't be long. So updates today. Hey.
Hello.
Wow. I thought you were outside or something. I heard the stairs.
I had to bring Tiny out to go to the bathroom. She came down and said, I need to go to the bathroom. So
I love when that dog talks.
Isn't
Talking dogs are the best.
it amazing?
Yeah.
All right. So how we doing? What's going on? What's happening?
I'm frustrated, but I'm trying to find a way around it.
Mhm.
You know, the suicide of Ed Pistor is upsetting, not because I know the
Sure.
guy, not because it
Right.
was anything I was involved in, but I don't like the way things are coming around after the
Right.
fact. I don't like the way people are discussing it, and what's being said is it's so weird. It's contradictory to everything that was a week ago, and honestly, I don't want to get distracted.
Right.
That's what keeps coming back to me. Good evening, Outcast. Hello, Rick from Cross Comics. And Outcast is, of course, Outcast Comics. Um, so I don't know. I would like to have some open discussion about it, but I don't want to go overboard and I don't want to make it a nightly thing. And it was a conversation last night too. So
Yeah.
I don't know. You can see what I'm up to right now. I'm playing around with a page from issue 8 of the Great Cyclopian.
Yep.
And as you can see, there's a little scuffle going on between I equals some and the Great Cyclopian at this point.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Right.
But I've gotta finish the art before I can even think of the colors and whatnot. So
Yeah.
you
Well, it's
did
coming
say,
along
"What are you gonna do tonight?" And I'm like,
I know.
because I don't want to get wrapped into this, but man, it's like, where's all the good guys gone? You know?
You gonna start singing again?
Yeah, well, Van Halen sang "Where Have All the Good Times Gone?" and I'm like, "Where have all the good guys gone?"
Well, I mean, again, we're looking through it through the internet. The internet is just, it's got the good, bad, and the ugly. And right now, we're looking at the ugly. We're
Oh, I
looking
like
at
how you put that.
we are. We're looking at people, doing the whole cancel culture thing and berating other people because of the choices that they've made, and
Well, like, and that's something I want
I
to
don't know.
avoid
I
myself,
just
which is so easy to fall
right.
into.
It
Like
is.
tonight, I really want to rage, but then am I not doing the same exact thing?
Well, yeah, and I mean, we really want to focus on positivity, creativity. I feel like when we get into these our panties in a bunch kind of thing over what other people have done and said that we obviously cannot control, we have absolutely no control over it. It makes it really frustrating because you want to change it. Like I feel like this sounds crazy. I know you're gonna go, here we go again. Here she come, my wife. Blah, 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 blah. But I do feel bad for these I do feel bad for people that can't seem to just be positive and seem to make a living out of putting other people down and calling out everyone like they've never done anything in their life. It's like, who are
Well, the
you?
thing is, I
You
understand the
know?
money. I understand the call to the money, but the love of money is the root of all evil, and we're
Well,
seeing it.
yeah, it makes for an entertaining show, I
Well, it
suppose.
can. I mean, it depends. How much do you agree with whatever he's chapping on?
Right.
Because
Right.
heaven forbid Eric July had killed himself or something. Because I've been upset with Eric July for a month and a half now. Maybe longer. It's like, and I'm starting to become aware of like, these are all people. And sometimes it gets a little too serious for what it is. It's supposed to be comics. And I don't get it. Why are people canceling people? Why not let the market decide? Is it that untrustworthy to trust the market?
Yeah. Yeah. Rick Chris just said that. That's so funny. Rick, love of the money is the root of all kinds of evil. And it was just, I think, knowing that this person took his life because in his eyes and heart, his whole world was crashing and burning and he had nothing else to live for. Number one, that's sad enough that you have nothing else to live for. If the rug comes out of your company or whatever, I mean, that's just really sad. And
Well,
the
I
other for
understand where
me
he's,
is
yeah, but you got to understand where he's coming from. And this is the ironic thing. He was kind of one of those cancel culture guys.
right.
And that's from what I'm learning, at least. He would root on the cancellation of others. And basically, I want to be clear here because we just went through the whole Big King thing. What, 2-3 months ago? There's obviously a
Mhm.
need to gatekeep, bad elements out of the comic book sphere.
Right.
Nobody's gonna disagree with keeping pedos out and whatnot. That's like the most disgusting thing we can have in comics.
Hmm.
And this guy wrote creepy kind of text to a girl that was 17. And
Right.
like I said last night, it's reprehensible to everybody who's mature and honest, but it's not illegal, and it certainly wasn't worth his life.
Right.
And the thing about this is, and I don't know if people really grasp this, but like, it's one thing for her to confront the guy. It's another thing for her and her friends to say, get the hell out. But then when the internet gets involved, obviously it's too much for some people,
Hmm.
and you've seen me, I get emotional. Thank God I
Oh my
don't get
goodness.
that bad, but I can imagine that it's not that hard for some people to get worked up.
Right.
And the end game is, it wasn't this guy killed himself for essentially nothing. I
Well,
mean,
that's what we,
for a bad message, for a bad group of emails.
and so this is where I kind of come in and say, I do agree with that. I agree with what you're saying, but there must have been something deeper in his life. I can't imagine that this one thing that came out sent him over the edge. I mean, I can't
Well,
fathom
okay,
that.
so this
I don't
is
want to
something else
believe
that's
that.
kind of occurring to me, and I want to know what everybody in the chat thinks about this too. But
Hmm.
is it possible? And remember, I'm a man who is autistic, somewhere on the spectrum, clinically, whatever. But is it
Firecracker.
possible comics are attracting, you know, mentally unstable people, including myself?
I don't know if that's you can actually say that, but it obviously is filled with very creative people, and people that are creative tend to have more emotions, maybe more sensitive. I mean,
I don't know,
that,
and I'm not trying to say that the comic industry is crazy, but the comic industry is crazy. Okay.
well, I think we can open that up and just say the world is playing nuts everywhere you look. You know.
Okay, but this is okay. I know that I suffer from like this illusion of grandeur, but
Yes.
comics used to be like a place where, you know, and I know it's because I didn't know what was going on with their lives, but all those guys to me appeared to be good guys.
Right.
If you're making a comic, you're a good guy. You're making the heroes. You're making the guys
But
that save the world.
that's like rose-colored lenses. You just in your heart of hearts, that's what you want to believe. That's your
Well, I
perspective.
believe that's kind of a symptom of being autistic and not having anybody behind me going, "No, honey, they're not really the superheroes they're writing."
Boy, I am telling you that. I tell you that all the time.
Well, it's a little late. It's a little late. I know that now, but it's a little late.
Not a
Like, it's
little.
already ingrained in my head. Like, so when I see someone big like EVS do something crappy, to me, it's like, watching Batman steal from a
You
jewelry
do
store.
this with everybody that you feel has any kind of authority or expertise in an area. Let me remind you all the pastors that you have like just been thrown your hands up and said, I can't believe they are supposed to be. So it really is a perspective thing with you. And I say this with lots of love. It's a perspective thing, you know? And
I'll give you a perspective thing, lady. Yeah, I think he did too, Outcast.
yeah.
And it's a total shame because I didn't even know the guy. And like now I'm looking back and I went back and saw everything before people started removing videos and deleting tweets. And it was like the whole industry was kind of down on the guy. Poor Ed was getting kicked in the nuts no matter what he did.
Hmm.
And I say poor Ed kind of weirdly because I don't like defending someone who was creepy with a 17-year-old, whether that was, legal or not, is still creepy.
Mhm.
Um, but it just, I don't know. It makes me want to cry out enough, just enough.
Mhm.
Let's try to find some like positivity, something. This is where like everything changed when the kids no longer were the focus. There used to be a time when you wouldn't talk about certain things just because you don't want the kids to get involved. There are things that should be private, if you will. Like, I don't understand why people aren't canceled in the dark. I don't understand the need to take something and make it
I don't
internet.
understand why they don't allow just their customers to cancel them. Like if it's crappy, it's crappy. But again, you can't just put a book out you can't do anything in the public light without being scrutinized. They're going to look at your personal life, look at your belief system. And if it doesn't align with yours, then, they're whatever. And that to me, I think it shouldn't necessarily be like that. I don't think we should go attack a person who's creating a comic book,
Well, I
Mm.
don't think we should.
Rick,
See,
that's
where it
true.
gets complicated.
Rick is saying that we don't know if he was creepy. It was something he was accused of. We don't even know if he did it. It was an
Well,
accusation.
no, I'm basing it off of what he wrote in his 5-page suicide note.
Right.
He confessed to talking to her. He said that he asked her, weird. He said weird things, but he tried to explain them away. I don't know if they were true or not. The explanations of explaining it away. All I know is that in my heart of hearts,
Mm-hmm.
if I had been her big brother
Mm-hmm.
and I had heard of this 30 or 40-year-old man writing what he wrote, I'd want to meet the guy and have a conversation. But I also know that there's nothing that the local police department can do. It was a
Right.
conversation. There was no crime that could be acted upon from law enforcement, but it was still a dastardly. It's
Well,
like,
again, we just had that whole other creator come up with, pedophile charges, and this is sort of riding on the winds of that. And
well, to be
there,
clear, when you say other creator, you mean Vic King, because I mean,
Yeah.
we might as well just say it because we don't want people getting confused.
yeah.
But yeah, we just went through the whole Vic King controversy.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you know what? I'm going to say something kind of a hot take that's probably controversial, but thank God he didn't kill himself.
Right.
As much pressure as that guy got. And I'm not saying he didn't deserve it,
No, I
but the
know.
internet is kind of like a magnifying glass in the sun.
Right.
If you ever go out in the sun in the summer, you take a magnifying glass. And kids don't do this. But if
Right.
you hold the magnifying glass over something, it will eventually, if you get the focus right with the sun, you'll eventually burn a little hole in whatever you're focused on. And it's kind of like that with the internet. And I don't understand it other than human nature is just ugly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, he explained Outcast is saying the same thing, the letter he released. So
he definitely sent some weird messages, but in his mind, the way that he explained it, they were all, for lack of a better term, they were meant innocently enough.
right.
Obviously, everybody else who read it went, nah, dude, you were grooming her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, now that's interesting too. It gets really complicated.
Huh. Like why? Why would she do that? Like what really is going on? Was he just some old guy and thought she was cute and thought he'd be,
That's the other thing. This was 4 years later. This, when this all happened, this month?
Uh-huh.
And I don't know what the motive was, why 4 years later. I don't even, maybe you're right. And maybe there's something way worse to it that we don't even know. Maybe this is just what got out.
Right.
But I do know, from what I know, that I'm kind of sickened by it all. And I don't know, maybe the only thing I can think to do is embrace my own viewpoint and, with lack of a better example, maybe make a public statement similar to what Rippaverse did, explaining about, we pledge to make our comic, within the boundaries of a PG rating, and there'll be no cuss words, there'll be no sex, there'll be no, you know what I mean, overblown gore. We have to find a way to word it, but a promise to our customers that we're only going to take that bridge so far.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a logic.
We really
in that.
need to do that? I mean, why do we need to do
We
that?
might need to, because I want to be quite clear that, you can pick up my book and not worry about F-bombs. And you can pick up my book and not worry about, you know, body parts splattered all throughout the air. And you can pick up my book and not worry about weird orgies or even, you know, marital sex in a perfectly suitable place. I won't ever have that in my stuff. I may, you know, obviously imply that there's a relationship, but I'm not going to ever put that stuff in my book. You know why? Because my book's not for that. My book is
Right.
for adventure, so that,
Right.
you know, the kid who's 10 years old can pick it up and the kid who's 100 years old can pick it up, and both can get, you know, a thrill off the book.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole idea, to give someone a place to escape to.
Right.
I don't know. It's just I can't see how, you know, like everything is so edgy now and so dark and so and I'm like, oh. One of the things about the Great Cyclopian that I can tell you right now is doing the parody with I equals some,
Mm-hmm.
doing the real life inspired characters such as Captain Aura.
Right.
Hey, what's up, Alpha Channel? You guys.
Hello.
But doing the real life character of Captain Aura and playing with the possibility of bringing other guys in. It brings a
Right.
levity to it that it's so cool, because they are like characters in themselves. And I know that I'm not alone in saying that we all recognize something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a reason. And I think it starts with the creators. I think we have to start not holding each other accountable, holding ourselves accountable.
Mm.
You know, for me, it's really my biggest weakness is when I go, you know what? I haven't seen EVS for a week. And I'll pop on a trash cast. I should know just by the name. And then I watch something and sure enough, get sucked into something else that's upsetting.
Did you see the Alpha Channel, what they wrote?
I do. That sounds cool. I
It
like
does.
the idea of skaters growing up in LA. And truly, Peter is going to have some growing up episodes where he can actually learn a lot from a skater. But he will be engaged in team training and combat.
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming up in the issues following issue 12. But
Right.
there's a lot of surprises coming up before 12, and from there on out, it's a whole new plot. You know, not from the original #1, but new
Right.
stuff. It's kind of exciting.
funny.
See, that's cheering me up. That's the only thing that does cheer me up when I think about comics is our own comic right now.
Right.
And basically, that's because I need to hear from more of you guys who are making positive
Mhm.
comics. I have great support from Mantown and our other fans and readers.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It is kind of like it's almost it's like a candle support, you know. And the bigger the candle, the stronger you feel. And I know that
Mhm.
sounds a little weird, but it's true. You know, like when I talk to somebody who sells 10,000 books every time they release one, and I'm
Right.
like, yo, I sold 100 books last time, bro. It's a little humbling. But I think it's growing, and I think that, you know, this will sound cheesy to some people, but I think as the Lord provides, it'll get where it needs to.
Yeah.
But I do believe we're onto something. I know we're in a very unique position where we actually talk to children, we work with children, we teach children how to even make comics.
Right.
And we know that, for lack of a better term, there is a thriving market there.
Yeah.
We just need to reach out to them with the right stuff.
Yeah. I'm just reading the chat. So Alpha Channel said he published his novels at the height of the e-publishing, and I think he thinks he got like 10 down. loads,
Yeah.
which is good though. I mean, it
Well,
takes a
I have to admit,
long time.
I am stunned at what we sell now, and I know why it's happening, and I'm, always praise God for what's happening.
Yep.
But I also know, like, we go to conventions, we do well, and there are things happening that just, like signs. So it's a silly thing, but a couple of weeks ago when we went into a school and we're doing a presentation, and I'm up on stage, with charcoal and hand drawing, and this kid calls out his friend and demands he stands up, and the kid stands up and he's wearing a Cyclopian t-shirt, and I'm like, what? This can't be real.
Yeah.
But it's starting to happen where when we're in public, there are people wearing our paraphernalia, if you will, our
Your
marketing. What do
t-shirts
they
and
call
stuff.
it? Our bling.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, no, it was really, 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 really cool. And that was a first for us. It was a first for us to do a presentation for a school setting. We absolutely fell in love with the idea, and we are working. That's something that
on
we
how
are
to do it
working
more.
on researching. Yeah, we want to do more. We'd like to offer that through Hero Shack as just as another
Well, okay, so
fun thing
let's
that
be
we do.
totally honest. So my vision is we go and do a presentation and start a club. In other words, they have a staff member who signs up to be the club leader, and we provide them with an outline on how to make comics. We can support it with videos. We can come back and do a small term, not a presentation, but a workshop with them,
Yep.
different things. But here's the thing that's weird, because schools pay money for people to do this. And I don't want to milk the system or anything, but I would love to do this professionally. So
Right.
without raping the
That's
school system and having a fair price,
right. Right.
we can actually break in, do a presentation. All the
But
kids will get
also
excited.
offer comic creator lessons, comic book
Right. Well,
lessons.
that's the thing. They'll all get excited, but a few of them, and it was happening even there. When we were
Yeah.
trying to leave, I was asking or answering questions that were so cool. And the greatest one was, where do I start? And I told the kid, draw everything, draw tables, draw fruit, draw people, draw dog, like just
Just
start
keep
drawing what
drawing.
you see.
Yeah.
Because he's going to try to copy all the heroes he loves and all the cartoons he loves.
Well, that's something that you guys do, right?
Right.
I
But the thing
mean,
that sucks that everybody has to go through sooner or later is, how do you draw a desk and make it look like it's really a desk? And how do you draw a car and make it look like a car? Like, there's all
right.
these little things. And when you draw a comic, you're responsible for
Unfun stuff.
everything.
All the unfun stuff that you complain about. Oh, I hate
Right.
doing
That's
this. I
where the
hate doing-"
exercise happens.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good analogy too. It's like, if you're training for a race, like at school,
Hmm.
um, the goal is that 100-yard race, but there's so much training that goes on around that. If you're seriously training, say you're in
Right.
college,
Yeah, like a mini art school, but totally not.
more
You
like,
know?
actually, that's close, but more like an opportunity for kids to be able to say, all right, I have an idea. I want to make Potato Man, and I want to have him fight the grill fryer, and have other kids that go, well, that's a horrible idea, but we can talk and work it out. And that's really what we've seen in the I guess you could call it the prototype club that we're working with right now.
Right.
At the end of it, we'll have something, but we're learning, next time, because there will be a next time,
Yep.
things that work and things that don't.
Yep.
And I think having a one big book was a mistake. I think next time I really want to have them do separate projects.
Yeah.
Whatever,
I think that will work out better. That way they can kind of hone all their skills, and we can help them with the individual parts that need to be helped with.
right. This way
Like,
it's going to be kind of chaotic, and I envision having to get my hand involved in some of the drawing, but
right.
I'm only going to do breakdowns at the points where they really need it. So I'll do a
Yeah.
real rough pencil sketch and pass it off
Yeah.
to one of the
Yeah.
one of the kids who were really burning to fly. Follow this
But
guy.
that whole, kind of presentation model, I guess, or we've been sort of thinking about. Like, we have so many ideas. It's just getting the information, putting it together. It takes a lot. And here I am. I want to make sure that the schools that we do approach see value in it, that it's not just kids, drawing. They're going to tell a story, and that takes literacy skills,
Well,
and
that's the
that,
thing. What we need to do is have Diana and maybe a couple of teachers or two go over it
yeah.
and give it that good old education buffer.
Yes, we
You know,
need to
like
make it, it has to have some educational value if we really want to go
curriculum
into,
targets.
what's that?
Curriculum targets.
A curriculum targets, yes. And so when we did our creator club, when we presented it to the district, that's exactly how we presented it. If you recall, I drew up a whole plan with different targets that the kids would be learning, and they are. It's not as formal as Miss Diana would like.
Well, the
But
real problem became when we had 20 something children,
yeah,
we had a vote.
that's
They
fair.
voted all to do one story together. So, okay, that's what we're
Yep.
going to do. Then when the clubs changed up, there
Yeah.
were several that wanted to stay and there were several that wanted to go to chorus. And I was like,
Right.
okay, please, Lord, thank you. Go to chorus.
Yep.
Not because I disliked or didn't want them, but the thing was, the ones who stayed, hey, Captain Orr and his wife, we say hello back to. But the ones who want to stay are the serious ones. And I mean, they're working for this stuff.
Oh my
Even though
gosh,
it's
these kids are
chaotic,
like,
it literally is like herding or herding cats. And there's
yeah,
like 11 of them. Like when I enter the meeting room, I know that they're hiding somewhere in there because it's the library. And there'll be 3 or 4 of them ducked behind bookshelves. And I pretend I don't know they're there. And they jump and I just turn and smile and they go, "You knew." And I said, "You guys, you always are." The first time they got me after that, I always knew they were there. I'm like, yeah. And I play with them like that because they're funny. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna get them this." No, you're not. Nope, nope, nope.
it's a very unconventional setup. But
Right.
then
Because
you
most
get me
classrooms
coming
they don't
in.
allow that. Yeah. And Miss Diana does play the stiff. She's the
I
heavy.
am,
She's the
yeah, I
all
am
right,
the one
sit
that says,
down and be
knock it
quiet.
off now, or you won't get a lollipop. That's it.
Yeah.
No
No.
lollipops if you're, no. But no,
But
we
that's what
want
we
the
want to
kids
do in
to
every
come in.
school.
Again, we have, they're just coming from school. So we want the kids to be able to have fun, but we want them to be respectful. We want them to learn, A Mantown date. We're looking at the Wednesday, I think. The Wednesday of our vacation week. Does that
Unless
work
you
for
have
you
another
guys?
day. This would be a great time if there is another time.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys would
Now's
rather have another
the
time, that's fine.
right
Um,
time.
so Captain Orr and his lovely wife, Steph, we are going to go and visit them and all of Mantown and all the guys if they're available. Say hey, and yeah, that's what we're talking about. So people who are listening, like, what are they talking about? What are they
Yeah.
talking about? The Wednesday? What's going on? What's going on?
So I'm not sure where we're going with the conversation. I'm not sure what you
Hold
want
on
to
a
do.
second.
We have not had any open mics in forever. I don't want to post the link, but if anybody wants to come in, message us and we can send you the link. If you don't know how to message us, say so in the chat and we can like figure something out here. Calendar date. Let me open up this calendar here because I have no
I
idea.
already got it. 4/17 is what I'm thinking. That's the Wednesday of vacation week. So I'm off, and I think Tony is off on Wednesdays and stuff. So
Dun 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 dun. See how I'm being quiet,
if
folks?
that works, guys, we can do another. We can definitely do another time, another day. Rick said you could send him the link if you would like. Christoph.
Yeah, I'm working on it, girlfriend.
Okay. Well, don't be so snotty. I don't like snottiness.
Hey, now
Oh
I'll flicker you from the chat, lady.
man.
You know how
Oh
you know how
man. Oh
quick I am
man.
with that button.
What's that?
Never mind. I'm just babbling. You know where babbling comes from?
No.
Babylon. You know, when they all like spoke one language or whatever. The Tower of
Oh
Babel.
yes. I was reading. Listen, I am multitasking. Taxing. I can't even speak tonight. I'm multitasking. It's been I'm coming down with a thing right now. All right, good. I'm glad. So I'm putting it in my calendar, and the only thing that'll prevent us is actually
Her
nothing.
coming down with a thing.
Yeah. No, I'm not feeling 100% tonight. I told you that.
I know. I'm teasing
I'm
you a
not
little.
trying to be a baby, everybody. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be saying that out loud. I'm actually working on the Cyclopean doll. I'm pinning his head on. I got the embroidery eye done, and I have to not use as many strands because it looks okay, but I
Hang on,
want it to look
I
a
want
little
to show
different.
Tony something because I don't think he saw this per se, but I love this the way this page is looking. Hang on.
Okay.
Oop. That's not going to be how I wanted it. This page. This is coming along like so cool. Okay, that's it. I just wanted to show the page.
Oh yeah. All right, that was quick. Tony, did you even see that? We love you guys too. Did you even see the page? He
Yeah,
put
he
it up
saw
for
it.
a half a second. How do you know he saw it? He didn't answer yet. He's probably like busy now or whatever.
He probably left. That's okay.
Listen.
I'm gonna make a new promo video soon. So I'll just put it in there. Very, very good observation. There's something to that, Tony. There's something to that.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
Remember, so I will preface it with this. He's been knocked out 3 times in the last 36 hours, and he's kind of freaking out. And that's kind of causing something to happen because he's never been knocked out previously.
Right.
And suddenly 3 times. It's not been a good life for him. Hey, look, we can see Rick's bed.
Times.
Hi, Rick. How are you?
I think he froze.
Yep.
How
He hasn't moved.
are you guys?
Oh dear God. We're good. We're good.
So I see Canadian internet is improving, huh?
Not.
Oh man.
It's more just where I am, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony.
I mean, like
You
if
had,
you
Yeah,
you
hopefully
had
again
mentioned
I get
that.
my.
You had mentioned that.
I want to get my, once I get my own place, get a job and get my own
Right.
place, I'm going to pay for
You'll
a
be
little
okay.
bit
You'll
better
be okay.
quality internet.
Yeah.
all
I'm
you
sure.
need
And
to
only
do,
one
all you
person
need to
using it on
do,
that one too.
all you
Yeah.
need to do is move behind McDonald's. You see,
What?
McDonald's always has the best
You
internet.
have an offer you can't refuse.
I'm not really kidding though. McDonald's has great internet. The only problem is it's probably being screened by hackers sitting in the dining room,
Oh
waiting
my
for some
God.
casual fool to come along and buy something on the internet while they're sitting there with their little scrapers.
Yeah, it's not too bad, their internet.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So Rick, what have you been up to?
Bit of this, bit of that. Well, making my possible music videos on my
Nice.
Pied Piper of Hamilton channel. I've been trying to do some reaction video stuff. Like I watched
Oh,
Alien
good.
3 and Alien Resurrection, and edited it and put it up. I went to watch.
Cool.
Well, technically, I watched Tarzan the Fearless or something like that from 1933, but I forgot to hit the record button. So I can't really do a first time watching for that one now. It's like, oops.
Yeah,
So I gotta,
that's
I'm
funny.
gonna watch some manga or anime and react to it, put it up, maybe find some other
No,
ways
no,
to
no.
do.
Watch the manga.
I've
I
got a
want to
whole
see your
list.
face.
I'm gonna-
I want to see your face when you're watching the manga. It's still sitting there on the shelf. We're watching it. Sooner or later, the manga will move. We're watching it.
well,
Get it? Because manga's
No.
like a book. Manga's
I
a
have no
book. It
idea
will
what you're
never
talking
move.
about.
You'll have
I
to put
totally
a manga
lost that
magazine
whole
on
thing.
camera. Okay,
Oh,
so
God.
you would have to put down the
Yeah.
manga magazine on a
Listen,
desk or something and watch
Did I
it.
not say to you guys I don't feel 100%?
yes, but I can.
What?
As
Listen,
I flip the pages,
I don't know.
Tony's like, oh, he's Canada. Ha ha ha. Laugh aloud.
It's very funny because you'll say something and then
Now, if only my
all of a
internet would
sudden
work
you
good enough to hear you
freeze.
guys. Instead of you breaking up
It's
on me.
literally like talking to someone like when they're like overseas.
Yep.
Oh, Rick, tell us, is the solar eclipse happening over there in London yet?
Yeah. Then again, it might be because I decided to try to use OBS. I'm not sure whether that's a problem or not.
Ah.
I can't smell your BS,
like,
so it's working. Get it?
No, you're not funny. Stop.
OBS.
Why do you think you're
OBS?
funny? You
Why
guys,
do I
what
think
is
I'm
wrong
funny?
with him? He drives me crazy.
Because I
Oh, it was
feel
mildly
better after.
funny.
But see, I feel a little better
It
after
was
all of that.
I'm glad you do. Yay. Because
Rick,
you were
what do you
crabbing
think
earlier.
Does the comic book industry need an enema?
Listen, Tony needs to talk to you soon. Okay? I'm just letting you know. He's
I can
putting
read the chat
praying
line.
hands in the chat. For the love of God, will you answer his calls when he calls you? He's so silly.
Well, by the time I figure it out, he's usually at work, you know.
Mhm.
Like, I don't even know where my phone is right now. I think it's on the kitchen counter, for instance.
Probably. You're so
But it
bad.
might be in my jacket. There is a very slim chance it could be in my car, but I'm pretty sure I brought it back.
No, it's on the counter, I think, in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did that.
So the point is, that's how often he looks at his phone.
So Rick's back. Rick, what do you think? Does the comic book industry need an enema?
Yeah.
Yes. What's up, Scorch Earth?
Well, technically, yes. Technically, that
I don't know.
would be a yes because even the mainstream stuff, of course, has become.
Oh. I'm gonna
That's
hug
what I
you when I
mean.
see you,
It's on-
Diana. Oh,
It's
good.
it's around
Even the
all
mainstream.
sides. Like right now, it's almost like
Yeah, that's what I was
call
trying
it
to
out
get
for
at.
what it is. There's a lot of hatred coming out of all camps, and I'm like, my goodness, just to be an independent, like truly an independent, not truly affiliated with any of them. It's like walking out in the rain and it's raining like lava rocks. It's like, holy cow, man! Everything is so polarized, stiff and
Yeah.
tight,
And
and we got no I don't know. Like I'm waiting for someone to emerge as Stan Lee. And like I keep thinking Todd McFarlane will emerge and lead the industry up and out, and yet he hasn't. And
I think
don't
those
know.
days are gone. I hate to say that, but I
Yes,
think
but I
we need
mean,
to
I'm looking for
create new days.
yes, we need like a Michael Jordan to step up, or
hello, Lorenzo.
Yes, Scotch, I agree. Hypocrisy. That's all we see. Hypocrisy and easily offended. Everybody is so easily offended. And there's so
Well,
much hypocrisy everywhere.
the thing about hypocrisy is it's kind of funny when it's something small, but it's so big when it's something big,
Right.
and like there are examples where I know I have let things slide because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And yet, like I said earlier, You know, thank God people haven't killed themselves when I've gone off on them, because I know I've gone off on some people in my time.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
crappy place for us all right now.
Sorry.
I'm being quiet so you can say something, Rick.
I think it's a good tool, it's a bad tool, is the social media stuff. Because, you know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we didn't have this. So, you know, if some creator was
Right.
doing something that they shouldn't be doing, you didn't know about it.
Right.
And
They
there's a
just
pro
went
and a
away
con to that.
quietly.
No, the problem was, at least, and this is where
Yeah.
the backlash came from. A lot of times the old boys club would just cover it up. So there was some merit to this, like blow them out in public. But the system is such
Yeah.
now where
Well,
sometimes I just don't think the public outrage matches the
that's what I
offense.
mean. That's what I meant, that they go away quietly.
Yeah. I think he.
Yeah. And then there's the problem that a lot of times we react before we get all the facts,
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
especially
People
social
are
media
very
stuff.
reactive.
You know,
If you look,
like I haven't seen this I haven't seen this letter about Ed or whatever. You know, so to me, it's at this point just an assumption or an accusation.
right.
Uh, no, Lorenzo, if you want the link, you just tell Chris in the chat and he'll send it to you.
But no, I just think that it's not. I mean, we're focused on comics because this is comics, but he, it's just
Oh,
it's
I lost
everywhere.
Chris.
It's everywhere. You know what I mean? Did Chris leave? I like Scotch Earth. Did you see what he said? People like to conveniently forget what
Well,
happened to
I'm not
Kyle
sure what
Ritter. He's the colorist for Cyberfrog and was Me Too'd by CG. Now he's basically not allowed to speak public anymore. I don't know who he is. Rick, do you know who he is? You probably do, right?
Yeah, I know who. Yeah, is he still the colorist, but for Ethan or not? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Hey, RJ. It is sad news.
You know, as far as I
It's
know,
just,
he is, but if he is, yeah,
it's just like it makes me sad because it shouldn't be like this. Like I have a very, I guess, different kind of
yeah,
perspective than many people. Like I'm like, we should just be able to get along for the love of God, right? Like, keep your opinion to yourself. If I've done something or if somebody has done something, you don't have to blare it all over the
yeah,
internet and whatever. But I think having the internet and having social media just makes it that much more convenient and easy for people to
yeah.
say things
To a
that they
point we
wouldn't
have to
necessarily say in person, they wouldn't. And
yeah,
so
and then I would also say then that has to come a point where we let people get on with their lives too. You know, like people need to make a living. Unfortunately, in this world, you need to make an income to provide for yourself,
right.
unless you want everybody being provided for via the
Well,
government,
the thing about that,
or
like
these
I
people that
always
have done
thought,
things that we don't like.
but isn't the point of capitalism is that's how we're supposed to like handle things. So let's say, Rick, you tick me off. All right, I won't buy your product, but that doesn't mean I turn out and go, hey, Diana, that guy Rick,
Yeah.
he really ticks me off. Don't buy his book. And then what happens is I tell 3 or 4 people. Meanwhile, those 3 or 4 people are
Yeah,
going to their 3 or 4 people going, hey, I hear that guy Rick. Yeah, he murdered like 20 people. Not because you murdered anybody, but because of that classic chain that goes on. Remember the telephone game?
yeah,
Things get warped, and by the time it gets out there, like
yeah,
things are so warped and confusing. That's why I didn't say anything when Ed got accused, because the sex stuff baffles me. Like when I hear about it, I'm like, either the guy is really stupid or the girl is really stupid. Like, I don't understand how this stuff really happens, but I am the idiot who was shocked at Me Too as well. You can ask my wife. I was
Yeah,
genuinely
and
stunned at how many people were doing it.
Right.
yeah. But then there's the question too, and I don't know which way this is. Did he know the girl was like 17 when he was talking to her? Because it's the internet. You don't know
Right.
necessarily
And
unless somebody tells you. Did she
this
tell him?
whole thing,
Was there any way that he could have found
apparently,
out?
um, and this whole situation
Eh,
happened 4 years ago. I think we need to make note of that. This was something that he did 4 years ago, from what I understand. I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
investigate it. I didn't look into it,
Well,
but this is what I've heard. So it's
that's
kind of crazy.
that's one thing. Like, so
Yeah.
depending on what they do, if there had been an actual physical crime, if there had been worse messages, from what I saw, it was creepy, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't like he was sending, penis pictures or something. It wasn't whatever people are imagining, I think, in a lot of cases, because I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I don't
because
want to
people
say
make
too
things
much because they get
worse than
really,
they actually are usually.
well, they get carried away. And then by the time the story
That's
is
Scorched Earth
coming through their lips,
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know where people, that's the other thing I hate about the
Yeah.
internet, because I don't know if the story has changed, if there's been updates. So you'll hear something and you'll be like, is that something you're saying because you're exaggerating, or it was told you exaggerated, or is that fresh news? Is there an update? Like, I hate the whole, that's why I don't like
Yeah.
getting right in on arguments. That's not
Loren-
my StreamYard link in the
Well,
description, Lorenzo.
Not to
Did you give
Do you mean the StreamYard link in the description is for StreamYard?
the StreamYard link. Yeah, it's just to get you to StreamYard. It's not for this to get on the
Yeah, they
panel.
add that. That's their little ad.
You gotta go. Did you send him a? Did
I
you
just
send
sent it
him
to
the
him
link
because I
over?
assume he wanted it when he said that, but I had not sent it to him. So I'm looking
Okay.
at the page. Let's see. Yeah, no, that StreamYard link is strictly their, hey, join us, and we have StreamYard, and join us.
Yeah.
My apologies. That's just something they add, and I
Scorch
never
says
take it
he's
out.
still the colorist.
Yeah, he's talking about Kyle.
Says he's still the colorist, but now he's basically has zero footprint on social
Yeah, and
media.
no, he's right. I remember when that happened,
so bad.
and I didn't understand what was going
I didn't
on.
even know that happened. I didn't even know that.
That was when I first discovered these groups, if you want to call them that.
This is the first time I'm even hearing about it.
Yeah,
which is,
no,
you know,
that was actually a drama when I first started watching War Campaign that was unfolding. And I was like kind of weirded out because they were kind of going after a deaf colorist in my mind.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was a Me Too thing after a while. And they're right, and I think, like, Kyle had momentum going with his own comic. Whether or not that was any good, I don't know, but I know it was, to me, it looked interesting enough. And all of a sudden he kind of disappeared. So I don't know if he lost heart, got scared, or maybe he really wasn't meant to make his own comic. I don't know, but it's like Scorch was talking about, having no other possibilities and killing his footprint. He is kind of pigeonholed right now, at least in many ways. Yeah, you know what, Scorch? You're hitting, or Scotch. I keep calling you Scorch because, Scorched Earth. But in the Christian mindset, like I was telling Diana this today, there seems to be no road of redemption or forgiveness for like anyone for anything. Like I get being against someone to the point of canceling them if they did something, you know, rape, pedophilia, murder. But like, if Lorenzo calls me a pale skinned freak, you know, he can be mad at me, but it's not worth burying me in a sea of depression because everybody dogpiles it, you know? What's up, Lorenzo? That was my way of trying to bring you in.
That's
Well,
funny.
I find all humans to be equally freaky, but except for those who watch my show or promote it or have me on their shows or whatever.
It's good to have a
No, I'm fine with
self-serving
them.
intro.
Well,
How you
we
doing,
find
man?
Yeah, this whole thing was really
we
weird.
find
with,
altrusions freaky too.
This was a really strange situation because some of the same people who were going after that, I don't know the guy's name was Ed. I don't know anything about him.
Right,
It's just
Ed.
I found out that some of the same people were like, were on the CG side of things that were like, oh, how dare these people, try to cancel him and drive him to this. Some of those same people tried to cancel him just a few days ago.
I know.
I don't know if you talked about that earlier because I kind of walked in, and it's like, and then they're like, "Oh, these people try to cancel me as well." It's like, well, then why were you guys just trying to cancel him?
So let me be honest. The only one I really know well enough anything about is EBS, and I think I wrote it in the description. Disappointed in the industry, and that was what kind of bothered me the most in terms of outside of the suicide, because it was like all of a sudden he was super concerned, the morning the note came out, and I get that he was concerned, but I was also like, wait a minute, I read the tweets, I saw the trash cast,
I heard about that, but the one I saw the evidence for was John Del Rose. He bragged about supposedly getting the guy to delete it, or that show or whatever he was on, to delete their Twitter account, and then all of a sudden,
yeah, you're right. Well,
all of a sudden he's acting sad, and it's like, but
maybe
it's
he is sad.
Sounds good, Tony.
I don't want to say these guys aren't sad. Hey, God bless you, Cap. I'm not saying these guys aren't sad or remorseful, but it's just like, okay, so now they're coming out hard, the other way. And I'm like, oh, you can't fight cancel culture if you are cancel culture.
Yeah, they're blaming they're blaming the people the guy had on his, I'll just say, list. But and maybe that's the deal. Maybe these guys just weren't.
Well, even if it was just
as big of a factor in his life as these other people,
but the whole point should be, or for me, the whole point is, it's the character. So I heard the same rumors about Ed a week or two ago. I didn't say anything because I didn't know anything, and it's none of my business. And I'm not running a drama stream where I have to try to amp up the click. So I'm talking about everything that's kind of dramatic now. And do you know what I mean? Yeah, I just don't get that mentality. Even though I watch people make super chat money, I watch all those subscriptions and all that stuff, and I know that it's far more profitable to play in drama. This is what happens, I'm sure EBS never thought, saying just some questionable things about Ed would backfire. Nobody does, but now that all this is happening, the only thing that can solve this is it's going to sound cheesy, folks, but I'm going to say it, is if we all were a little bit more Christ-like. And that's not a joke. That's the only thing that's going to heal this.
And since those guys weren't on the, I mentioned the guy's note, I said list, but note, his last note before he.
Yeah, 5-page.
I'll say.
Yeah,
I'm trying to keep it YouTube friendly, but
we've been saying suicide all night.
So there's no real proof that they led to it, but they seem to be taking the same side as the people they're now criticizing.
Well, that's what they're doing, and I'm like, so
Yeah.
what happens next week when we hear that, John Doe, who created Captain Nowhere, said inappropriate things, 3 weeks ago at a convention. Well, how inappropriate is it? How canceled do you want to make this man? But that gauge isn't even available anymore. Now it's like the switch is on or off. Either you're canceled or you're not. And it can be a little thing or it can be a huge thing. But to me, it seems weird that this guy, if everything I've read is true, sent out some creepy messages, and he's as
Yeah.
canceled as the child rapist that we discussed 2 months ago or a month ago, Vic King. They're just as
Yeah. Yeah. I
canceled.
was gonna, convicted, or what do you call it? I guess
Well, he
it's a
was
conviction if
convicted,
there's a
so
plea. I mean, he had a plea bargain, so whatever that's
yeah, but
called.
it's called a conviction no matter what.
Okay.
That may
Yeah.
be under
Yeah.
the condition of a plea
Yeah.
bargain, but he's convicted. Yeah.
And so that's the thing is that's kind of why I didn't even go with the whole John Lamont thing. I
Yeah.
tried to remain neutral in that. I wasn't going to buy his book, but I wasn't going to throw out the P word either, just because I just didn't. Yeah, I don't know. I was
The thing
trying
is,
to
at
be
this
careful
point,
not in what I said.
but at this point, we have to start. So the thing I'm coming to is I can't babysit anybody.
Yeah.
I can't make anybody do stuff. I can't change anybody, EVS or anybody else. All I can do is make sure that I'm giving people what I pledged to give them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm trying to reconcile this stuff tonight. This is hopefully my closure to the drama that is. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would really rather come on and say, hey guys, here's my new drawings for the day, and this is happening, and we did do some of that,
Yeah.
but my heart's
You-
been overwhelmed with the whole story. So I'm like, okay, I do have the board here to draw, but I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel like drawing when we're talking about this.
You probably know how it is where,
So
let's
I
say
want
you
to
go
read.
and you,
Oh, go ahead. Finish your statement, but I want to read
let's say you
something.
go and you cover a drama topic one week and it gets a bunch of people. Then those same people, some of those same people might show up next week. And if you're talking about art and entertainment, then they're likely instantly change to another YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Not
well,
all of them, but a
my
lot
hope
of them
is that
will.
I'm going to be
And
able to.
so that's the problem with covering drama, even
Yeah,
though I do sometimes
no,
do that.
no, I'm gonna try to draw away from all of that.
You
Actually,
Yeah.
I think
say
I
that,
want
but
our
here we
circle to be
are.
out of this. You know what, Miss Diana?
Yeah,
Yes,
but
you're completely right, Miss Diana.
Listen, so Outcast
but
made a
I-
really good point. Okay. He said when EVS was canceled, unfortunately, Ed took part of it. But here's the thing, it's so convoluted because everyone backstabs, everyone talks poorly about anyone anytime. It's just sad. You can be on somebody's channel and you're all in the same page, and then I don't know, something could happen. Somebody might do something that another person doesn't like, and it could be a really bad thing, but then that's the topic of conversation. You know me,
yeah.
I hate drama, I hate discussing it. To me it's like negative energy, but that's Chris knows this. Chris is like, shut up, he's going to boot me
Yeah.
from the stream is what he's going to do,
No, the
because
thing about it, and Diana knows this, is
it
if I
makes me
don't get it
crazy.
out of my system, then it's going to fester. And it's been festering since yesterday when it first came out. I said, Diana,
Yeah.
I'm not going to follow this story. You know what I did all day long? Picked up my phone every
Follow the
chance I
story.
did and checked out what was going on. And the matter I got, everybody, I mean, the people that were under the spotlight because of the letter were blaming other people and saying we can't blame these people. And then those people are blaming people. And in CG, there was,
Yeah.
not really division in CG, but they were doing the whole Vicky's evil thing again. And I hate to remind people, but like her or not, she sometimes does, serve a purpose, revealing the wicked stuff in the shadows, as we know with Vic King. So I'm not gonna sit there
Yeah,
and
yeah, and she
Yeah.
didn't.
Well,
She and Dean didn't give anybody the heads up on it because some people are upset about it. It's like even Vic's co-hosts, his regular co-hosts, weren't told by Dean and Vicky. You
yeah,
know,
I don't
and
think
Dean and Vicky are like they these are their co-hosts were like people, good people, and as far as I know,
yeah.
Dean and Vicky have
But
no problems with the
yeah, but I wouldn't
like
tell anybody
guys like
if
Risey
I
and
was
stuff,
if
right?
it was my story,
Risey
Lorenzo,
might
if it was my
be.
story, Lorenzo, if it was your story, would you go tell them before you told the world?
No,
If I'm a
no,
reporter, I
I'm just
won't
saying,
tell
like
anybody.
Risey,
well,
Risey
sorry, go
was
ahead,
convicted
Lorenzo.
of, but he didn't even know before and neither did Chap or any of those, or Ant or any of those guys
Right.
who streamed
Yeah.
with Vic.
Uh,
I didn't know
I
either,
was
and I've been on the show, was on Vic's show, or whatever the guy's name is, Robert Kincaid.
but there's the thing too is yeah, Vicky and that broke it, and I guess that's all right, you know. But the thing is, they never even tried to get his side of the story. So if you want to report on something, maybe you should try and get both sides of the story.
No, fuck
You
that.
can.
No. I don't even care. I'm like, I don't want to say the story. Here's the thing. He went through a court of law, and plea
Yeah,
bargain or
but
not, it's the conviction, man. It's on his record.
well,
So I'm like, I don't want to
yeah,
know
but
how it
he
happened.
went through a court.
He gave what's
Yeah,
his
but that's important. Lots of people have been
Rex.
convicted wrongly.
Yeah, Rex went and read what Vic had said. Now Rex not supporting Vic, but I guess Rex received a DM from Vic where Vic explained his side of the
Hang on,
story.
guys. Wait a minute. You
Yeah.
can tell your story about this, but wait on. Okay, keep going.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean I interrupted Rex. So
What
Can
are
you
you
hear
doing?
it?
This world's smallest
Yeah, I know you're.
violin.
oh,
Yeah.
so the thing is, Vic
He's
was
such a
claiming
dork.
that the case was just going to drag. It was just dragging on, and he didn't have the money or whatever, and so he pled guilty. I think 90% of the time, people take a guilty plea, or maybe that's just federal court. But I was looking at the statistics.
Well, I am certain
That
at least
said,
90. Listen, I'm certain
believe
90% of the
did it,
people
though.
do claim that they didn't do it. I'm certain of that.
Yeah, but there's the thing. The innocent claim they didn't do it, and yes, a good majority of the guilty claim they didn't do it. So it's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, but
The thing is,
I don't
believe
look
he
at
did
it like you guys
because
do.
the way that the article spoke about what the girls said about what he had said was like how he would talk to the women, like middle-aged women, though, in his chat. He like, so it sounded just like Vic King. So it's like, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just
So I
gonna tell you
believe that
guys, I listen.
was
I
and is
had
indeed
personal
guilty.
experiences online when Vic offered to draw stuff. We offered to draw it, and then like totally did not deliver. And we knew right then that we weren't working with the guy. He had proven his character with us, and there were other people who had. So when this all came down, at least for me, I'm like, well, that makes sense. It adds up. I don't care how it happened to him. Listen, yeah, but you can defend him, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that like I even care how he got in that situation. He did,
Well,
and that's.
Well, it could have been false accusations, and that could have been. But my point is, or my point now would be with what you said. Just because he has bad business practices, which he does, and I 1000% agree. I've had bad business dealings with him myself. Doesn't mean he did that. Just because you murder doesn't mean you steal, or just because you steal.
Bye, go, get out of here. Just go.
What'd you do?
I'm kicking him out.
Who?
Rick.
Why?
Because I'm not going to have him sit here defending a fucking child rapist.
Well, you didn't let him finish.
Because he's just going on and on. You don't know.
Yeah, I
you
think he
don't
was
know.
just saying that just because he screwed people over in business deals or whatever.
Chris.
Allegedly, but
Whatever, man. Go ahead, Rick. Keep defending him.
I'm not defending
think
him.
she
I'm defending. I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying him.
Well, then
specific-
stop,
I
Rick,
don't
because it's
know him.
making me very uncomfortable. Because I don't like Vic King. I don't think you should sit there and defend him on my show.
Oh, so I can't speak my mind. What I
That's
believe
right.
I should
All
give
right,
people
so
the
go.
benefit of
So
the doubt.
please leave, Rick. Go.
Okay, you don't want to be my friend anymore like you did Timothy?
No, I don't want
How
to
about
talk to you
call
right
me
now. I don't want to talk to you right now.
Okay,
go
bye.
defend Rick and go defend Vic in your own mind.
All right, so I'm
not
going to
defending
leave
him, I'm
because
defending.
what are you defending, Rick? Chris, like, I don't understand what's going on, like, right now.
I'm not going to have him sit there and tell me what you don't know. Well, I do know. The court record said, well, you don't know. Maybe he just made a deal. I don't care if he made a deal. All I know is he's convicted of child rape. And I won't have anybody sit here and defend that in any way. I won't. That's the problem with this stuff. We make excuses and justifications. Look, I'm sorry if he got screwed. He's got to find a way out of that. But it's not going to be here with me because I'm like, no, you got convicted. You're a convicted child rapist.
I didn't really hear what Rick was saying, to be honest. I didn't understand what he was trying to say because all of a sudden
He was
like,
telling me, in general, you don't know. Just because he did bad business doesn't mean you know he was a rapist. No, I don't. But I don't need you sitting here saying that. I don't want to hear that crap here. You know?
yeah,
Children
so
and rape are
that
two
was
things I
my
get really pissed
interpretation
off
of what he
about.
was saying too.
so this is why we should try to get this out of your system so we don't have to talk. We don't have to talk
what
about
I think this is establishing a baseline because I'm not going to put up with people defending Vic King here.
Okay, but you didn't. Okay, fine. I am tired. I don't feel good, so I am going to head out. It's
Yeah, I'm
already
just going to
been
end
about
the
an
show.
hour.
I'm a jerk and everybody's upset.
Well, I don't really know what to say. I don't like booting people out, so I'm like,
Well, I'm just not
okay.
going to see. The thing is, Diana, I've always been Mr. Nice Guy, and people have always walked on me. I'm not going to let it happen.
Okay.
No, you're not going to defend. No.
I'm not defending anybody. I'm just saying.
Not you. I'm saying in general. If someone comes on here and you want to say, well, maybe Vic King isn't because he said, you know what? He's convicted. That's all I care about. I'm not going to sit here and entertain the thought that, he might not be guilty because he served time for it.
Right.
Okay. That's where the story ends for me. I'm done. God bless everybody. I'm sorry I upset everyone.
Well, I just